Hi, my name is Madison. I'm 27 years old, born and raised in upstate New York, and I have a story to tell you. One that I hope will stay with you long after you finish listening. This isn't the kind of story that ends in a perfect romance or a fairy tale finish. It's real, it's raw, and it carries a lesson I had to learn the hardest way possible. I've always been a bit of a dreamer, the kind of girl who believed in soulmates, in serendipity, in the magic of finding someone who just gets you. I used to write little love stories in my journal, imagining how I'd meet someone special in the most unexpected way. Turns out I did. But it wasn't magic. It was manipulation. It all started during a really rough period in my life. I'd just gone through a tough breakup, lost my job during a round of corporate layoffs, and had to move back in with my parents while I figured out my next steps. Everything I thought I had built was crumbling, and I felt completely unmoored. My confidence was at an all-time low. That's when I met Eric. He found me through a mutual friend on Instagram. He commented on a story I posted about my dog, and the conversation just flowed. He was 34, lived a few towns over, and ran a small photography business. His photos were beautiful, moody, artistic, intimate. Everything he posted made him seem deep, thoughtful, and kind. Our DMs turned into long daily conversations. We talked about everything: our favorite books, childhood memories, even the things we were most afraid of. He said he admired my strength, that I had this light in me he hadn't seen in anyone else. It felt so good to be seen that way, especially when I was feeling so invisible. After a few weeks, we decided to meet. He picked a quaint little coffee shop halfway between our towns. I remember being so nervous, but the second I saw him, my anxiety melted. He looked just like his pictures: tall, warm smile, kind eyes. He brought me a book he thought I'd like. Who does that on a first date? We talked for hours about life, dreams, fears, family. When he dropped me off at my car, he didn't kiss me. He just held my hand and said, "This was real. Let's not let it go." From that day on, we were inseparable, at least emotionally. But in person, not as often as I would have liked. He said work kept him busy. He was constantly traveling for shoots. And there were other things too. He couldn't always take phone calls at night, never wanted to FaceTime unless it was on his terms, and always changed the subject when I asked to visit his studio. Still, I made excuses. I told myself I was being paranoid, that not everyone is glued to their phones or wide open about their lives. He told me I was the only one who really understood him, that I was his piece in a chaotic world. And I believed him. Then came the red flags I couldn't ignore. Once I posted a photo of us at a small local fair. Nothing dramatic, just the back of our heads as we looked out over the rides. He made me delete it immediately, said it was about privacy. Another time, I tagged him in a story about a book we were reading together. He blocked me from tagging him and then messaged, "Let's keep our thing just for us." That's when the anxiety really started creeping in. I felt like a secret, like I existed only in the spaces he allowed me to. And still, I stayed. I stayed because I didn't want to believe I had gotten it all wrong, that this connection I felt so deeply wasn't real. The final blow came on a random Tuesday night. I got a DM from a woman I didn't know. Her name was Alyssa. She said, "I don't know how to tell you this, but I think we're dating the same guy." I stared at the message for what felt like forever. My hands shook as I read through the screenshots she sent, texts, photos, even a selfie of the two of them in what looked like his apartment. A place I'd never been. Eric, my Eric, had been in a committed relationship with Alyssa for almost 2 years. I was the side story, the distraction, the one he kept in the shadows while pretending to be someone else. I confronted him immediately. He didn't deny it. He just said, "I didn't think it would go this far with you." That sentence broke me in a way I didn't know was possible. I spent weeks barely able to get out of bed. The betrayal was more than emotional, it was spiritual. I questioned everything about myself: my judgment, my worth, my ability to recognize truth. How could I not have seen it? But as the fog slowly began to lift, I started to understand something. Predators don't wear signs, they wear charm. They learn what you need and offer it in just the right doses to keep you hooked. Eric wasn't some monster in the shadows. He was a man who knew exactly how to make someone feel special until it served him no longer. Therapy helped. So did journaling, reconnecting with old friends, and spending time with people who had always seen me clearly. I began to realize that healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means forgiving yourself for being open in a world that sometimes punishes vulnerability. And that's why I'm telling this story. To the person out there who feels like a fool because someone lied to them, used them, discarded them like they were nothing, I see you. You are not nothing. You are not naive or weak. You are human, and you are worthy of love that doesn't come with conditions, secrets, or excuses. The lesson I learned: real love doesn't make you question your sanity. It doesn't hide behind block tags and invisible boundaries. It shows up. It's honest. It builds you up, not tears you down. It's been over a year now. I'm still healing, still learning to trust again. But I'm stronger, more aware, and oddly enough, more hopeful. Because if I could survive this and still believe in love, then maybe, just maybe, something beautiful is still waiting. Thank you for listening. Don't let one person's lies define your view of love. Trust is precious, and while it can be broken, it can also be rebuilt. Start with yourself. Believe that you are worthy of being treated with honesty, respect, and kindness. Anyone who makes you feel like you have to shrink to fit into their world isn't worth the space they take up in your heart. Some nights I still think about Eric, not because I miss him, but because I still marvel at how deeply I believed in him. And I remind myself that belief came from my own heart, a heart that wanted to see the good, to give someone a chance. I don't regret that part of me, because that part is still here, and it's stronger now. So here's to you, the one listening. May your heart stay open, your spirit stay kind, and may you always know the difference between someone who lifts you up and someone who only pretends to.